When I think Saudi Arabia, I always think comedy. I think we can all fondly remember those Saudi sitcoms we grew up with, you know? Like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's one of my personal favorites. You know, How I Bought Your Mother, that's another great one. Faulty Twin Towers, that's great too. They got the Riyadh Comedy Festival happening in September. They wanted to do it on 9/11, but apparently the organisers were busy. What would your set even be? You know, you're coming on stage and being like, hey, take my wives, please. All right, so a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead walk into a bar. I mean, I assume. I actually don't know. You'd have to ask their husband. Was I doing some classics like, hey, why did Jamal Khashoggi not go to the party? Oh, he had no body to go with.
To say those performing in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia are taking a lot of heat is a severe understatement.
Thank you. It's so great to be here at the Saudi Arabian Comedy Festival. You know, originally I was going to say no on moral grounds, but then I saw that giant stack of money you guys offered me, and I just couldn't say no. How do I wash all that red stuff off of it, by the way? It's great to be here. On the way over, I found out music is illegal in Saudi Arabia. I said, oh my God. It's just like Footloose, just without Kevin Bacon or regular bacon. You guys remember that scene in Footloose where Kevin Bacon moves to that town to teach everyone to sing and dance, and then they stone him to death for being gay? Pete Davidson's here. Make some noise for Pete Davidson. Yeah, maybe he'll bomb here, and then you guys can call it even. All right, I think it's time for some crowd work. What do you do for a living?
I'm not doing it.
That is good. I admire that.
Then they doubled the bag, and I was like, but I'd already said no. I took a principled stand.
Yeah, against Saudi Arabia.
I mean, how do you even promote that?
I've been getting a little bit of flack just because, like, my dad died 9/11, so they're like, how could you possibly go there?
The Riyadh Comedy Festival has the entire industry split. Look, is it any shock folks like Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., The Flagrant Crew, Sebastian Maniscalco, or even other podcasts like Bad Friends would go? Not really, no. But
Just like us. So like you can talk about anything, you know, other than a couple things, which was basically, you know, religion, don't make fun of the royals. Everyone was happy. The people that were doing the festival were thrilled. It was a mind-blowing experience. Definitely top 3 experiences I've ever had. And it was great to experience that part of the world and to be a part of the first comedy festival over there in Saudi Arabia. I think it's going to lead to a lot of positive things.
oh, for sure, dude. You know who you sound like?
But isn't there a danger that you're also being seen as a tool of sports washing, an attempt to try and improve the image of a human rights abusing regime through sport, and that ultimately you could be seen as a Saudi stooge, and that could tarnish your legacy? Is that you comfortable with that?
I said earlier, I don't condone human rights violations. I don't know how I can be any more clear. I understand your question. But again, I love this game of golf. I've seen the good that it's done.
You said something in a Sports Illustrated interview, and you just said it again this morning. What happened to Jamal Khashoggi is awful, but I've seen the game of golf, the good that the game of golf has done throughout history. No matter how successful this tournament could ever be, it can't counteract someone being murdered, can it?
No, nobody here condones human rights violations.
That guy. And hey, by the way, Bill, the killings haven't ceased because Phil swung a club or you did a set. Maybe, though, we should have seen this coming all along.
And then you have other comedians like myself where as I'm going to the airport and either Nia or the taxi guy is going, what airline? I'm looking it up in my phone. So I get there and I go, who am I doing this private show for? And they said, oh, it's a poker tournament with a bunch of oil men. There's like 10 billionaires, the rest are millionaires, and there's a couple of bankers there, right? So here I am now feeling like Beyonce, you know, when she performed for those dictators after all my time talking about, blood money and all that. Here I am going out there. I should have put on a little glitter dress and danced like a whore, and I go out to go do this benefit. right? Because I just said yes because I saw the money. So right now, all my credibility, beyond me being a moron, is out the window at this point because I still did the gig.
What really gets me, though, is this. Chappelle, in his set, stated right now in America, they say that if you talk about Charlie Kirk, that you'll get canceled. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to find out. The Times would add, a headline act, Mr. Chappelle was met with whoops, cheers, and applause as he told an audience of 6,000, it's easier to talk here than it is in America. Abdul Rahman Muhammad, a 23-year-old dental student, was quoted as saying, I find it so interesting to hear political jokes targeting Trump and Charlie Kirk. It was surprising to hear him talk about it in Riyadh, when just recently America canceled Jimmy Kimmel doing the same. David Cross, meanwhile, would go scorched earth on the comedians participating in this charade. What do you think? I think I am disgusted and deeply disappointed in this whole gross thing that people I admire with unarguable talent would condone this totalitarian fiefdom for what, a fourth house, a boat, more sneakers? In his next paragraph, he wrote, we can never again take seriously anything these comedians complain about unless it's complaining that we don't support enough torture and mass executions of journalists and LGBT peace activists here in the States, or that we don't terrorize enough Americans by flying planes into our buildings. I mean, that's it. You have a funny bit about how you don't like Yankee candles or airport lounges. Okay, great. But you're cool with murder and or the people canning of women who were raped, and by having the audacity to be raped were guilty of engaging in adultery. Got any bits on that? He'd write of how Dave, Louie, Bill, and Jim are heroes of his, and really just how let down he was by their actions. How can any of us take any of you seriously ever again? All of your B word about cancel culture and freedom of speech and all that blank done. You don't get to talk about it ever again. By now, we've all seen the contract you had to sign. You're performing for literally the most oppressive regime on earth. They have slaves, for F's sake. I don't understand how being rich can make someone such a whore. This is truly the definition of blood money. You might as well do commercials for Lockheed Martin, unless you open your sets with, this is dedicated to all the widows and widowers and kids orphaned by this bloodthirsty, oppressive regime, especially from the zany shenanigans on 9/11. Never forget, MFer. All right, so it's great to be here. I'm going to be killing it tonight, but in the good way, straight up, no MBS. Then your hypocrisy will never not be noted. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.